and welcome back to episode 7 of my F1 2016 Force India career mode. If you guys are new around here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm currently at about 477 subscribers and really want to hit 500 as soon as we possibly can. Would love it if you guys would help me reach that. But if obviously you are used to being around here, then you will know last time out at the Monaco Grand Prix we got a very, very impressive third place podium at the end of the Grand Prix. It was a very, very good race for us, but now we move on to the Canadian Grand Prix, which is probably one of our strongest tracks on the calendar. It should be a track we are very quick at. I'm going to look just around the circuit now. I'm not going to leave anything in qualifying, as you will see in a second. As we run down through the grid, we can see that Sebastian Vettel and Daniel Ricciardo looked at the front row, so a non-Mercedes front row, with Max Verstappen and Nico Rosberg in P3 and 4. The Finnish drivers of Raikkonen and Bottas fill out the third row, with the British drivers of Button and Hamilton finishing out the fourth row. And then we have Fernando Alonso and myself finishing out the top 10 positions there. So it was a bit of a surprise to see neither Hamilton or Rosberg even on the front row here. But now we move into the formation lap here. We're just going to show the start bit, as I don't know whether this is really a glitch or not. But if we have a look here, we nearly overtake Fernando Alonso, then we do overtake Fernando Alonso. Don't really know why he's going so slowly. And then he just, look, we've got it in neutral, and he's just refusing to overtake us. And then as soon as he does, everyone just goes through. So not really sure what you can say about that there, whether that is a glitch or not. But I think now we will move in to the start of the Grand Prix. 1 light, 2 light, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And away we go for the Canadian Grand Prix. There we actually seem to get a really poor initial launch, but Alonso in front, both side of us, seems to get right up close to behind Jenson Button. Everyone on that left-hand side there just seemed to not be able to get away. I don't know whether that was just the driver at the start of that little train just didn't get a good start, but we're up the inside of Fernando Alonso. He's holding it around the outside of us. That McLaren Honda power unit seemed to be doing fairly well around here, but we now move up the inside of him into the chicane. Jenson Button has just completely parked the bus there. Not really sure what that's all about, as there seems to be a fair bit of distance in front of him there. So we're going to move up the inside of him into turn 4. Next up, obviously, on our hit list is Lewis Hamilton. There's already yellow flags out. Marcus Ericsson is already out of this Grand Prix. Not really too sure what's happened to him there. He's obviously just been caught out by the braking probably of someone else in front of him, so he's ripped out one of the front wheels. But we can't really worry about that too much, as we've got Lewis Hamilton is the next car ahead of us, obviously, with his Mercedes, which is undisputably the strongest car on the grid. But we move up the inside of him into the hairpin there. It was a very, very late move from ourselves. It was kind of just we realised we could go for the overtake, so we did. But as you can see, we've got a fair bit of front wing damage there. We're going to try and avoid making this race more pit stops than we need to, as that is really just something we don't want to risk. But moving on into the end of lap 2, or the end of lap 1, sorry, as you can see, Ricciardo and Bottas there getting caught up massively over the chicane. Luckily we didn't get any more front wing damage. Bottas is going to go around the outside of Ricciardo, but he's just going to pinch him out there. So we're going to take the opportunity to go up the inside of both of them there. A beautiful double overtake. Ricciardo then decides he's just going to dive bomb us into turn 2, and that probably works out worse for him than it does us. Not really sure what the stewards deem of that, but he did, in my personal opinion, just kind of launched up the inside, and they haven't given me a penalty for it. So I'm not obviously going to argue it. But next up obviously is Nico Rosberg. So Mercedes having a very, very poor day out here today. Not even in the podium positions at the moment. We've gone purple through Sector 1. But that isn't going to amount to anything by the end of the lap. Sebastian Vettel is the car just ahead of us now, as Rosberg has managed to move up into P3. We didn't actually get a glimpse of that overtake, as Rosberg, it was pretty much just around a corner. But Kevin Magnussen now is already a lap down, which is pretty impressive in just 5 laps of this Grand Prix. As you can see, we did also go purple in the final sector of our last lap. But Vettel's just going to swoop around the outside of Magnussen here. But we're just not going to be able to get close enough to try and keep up with Sebastian Vettel, as we're not just going to get held up behind Magnussen just a little bit there. Going to move up his inside into the next corner there. He does almost try to defend the position, which I was a bit confused by, which I was also not very happy with, as we were trying to get into a rhythm to try and catch Sebastian Vettel, as his car just was quicker around here. But I just don't think with things like that happening, you just really can't catch up to the AI. But moving on now onto lap 6, we have reeled him in absolutely massively through this first sector here. Absolutely beautiful to see the fact we have managed to close him in. We're just telling the team there that we don't want to go on to a 2-stop strategy there, as we want to pit as little as we can. But moving on into the second chicane there, we are still closing in on him, but we've come and hit the wall there. I have no idea what happened there. I don't know whether that was me or my wheel just bugged out, but we are out of the Canadian Grand Prix there. Let's just have a look about what did really happen there, because I'm not really sure in all honesty, from racing. What did really happen, we take a lot of curve through the first sector, and that kind of unsettled us. But we just didn't get the steering lock in, and we've just skimmed the wall out, which has ripped the wheel off. Which, obviously, it's a huge shame for us, but it's good to see the damage model is working well. As you can see, just the wheel gets ripped off the tethers there. A very, very typical mistake to make at the Canadian Grand Prix, which is probably the only reason why I'm not such a big fan of this track. But that was a huge disappointment for us. Obviously, we've pretty much done the reverse of what we expected to over these last couple of Grand Prix. Monaco, obviously, we expect to crash out, and Canada, we expect to get podium. But we've pretty much reversed that here today. I'm not very, very happy with that result there, which is a huge shame to see. Red Bull do win the Grand Prix. But anyway, guys, hopefully you have enjoyed this video. I'm going to leave some music now with the end of the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you are new around here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.